Yo, what's up, guys?
You get to show who I am. You will spend the rest of your life in a cage, knowing that this city beat you, that I beat you. That was a monologue from season 3 Daredevil. Sorry, I couldn't. I just kind of
Okay,
got carried away.
so so I just feel like it needs to be said. I had no clue that was gonna happen. I was told I was told to start the recording, and that's it. So
So I'm
that
gonna use this
was
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the podcast. You already know what's happening. We're talking Daredevil Born Again wrapped up, and in honor of that, I have my Daredevil cowl, brand new, pretty beautiful, isn't it? I'm very very
oh my
happy with
gosh,
it.
that's pretty great.
Shout
That's
out to
pretty
my boy
great.
Nico. He gave this to me. What's going on?
Shout
How are
out,
you,
shout out,
Mike?
Nico. I'm doing good. Yeah, it's been a long couple weeks.
Yeah, I'm
I've
sorry.
watched up on some stuff. So I'm excited to talk about it. How about you?
Yeah, man, same old, same old. So, you gave me some homework, and I
You
did
gave me
that.
some.
All caught up on Daredevil. Excited to talk about that. Um,
Don't
sorry to
hate me.
sorry to
So
start off on a little bit of a high energetic note. It's kind of late
So
for
don't
both
hate
of us.
me, don't hate me, but I did actually forget to watch all of the newest Daredevil episode, so I still have about 20 minutes left of the episode.
Of the
Um,
season finale.
yes, so I don't know everything that happens at the end. I know up until about when the city starts falling apart and Kingpin's held up in the courtroom, um, and the city's kind of taking sides. That's about, or
Okay,
actually, you know
okay.
what just happened? Um, what the one task force member that's kind of like, this is kind of messed up. He turns on the ringleader, the head of the task force, and
Yeah,
lets all the protesters into the courtroom. That's the
that's a
last
good
thing I
moment.
saw, and then I paused it and had to do some other stuff. But just so you know, there's a little bit
Okay.
there I just haven't
Well,
seen quite
I would
yet.
have saved the monologue maybe for another day.
I'm
Uh,
sorry.
No, it's okay. But on just on the Daredevil note, I am rocking the Super X Daredevil athletic tee. This is the Daredevil Born Again season 1. Um,
I like it. I
Shout out
like it.
Super X. Maybe one day we'll get a sponsor. I don't know. That'd be
Get the
pretty
collab
cool.
going. Get the collab going.
Also in honor of our outfits today, I don't have my contacts in, so I'm putting my glasses on. But I don't know if you noticed something different about what I did with the glasses.
Brother. I love it. I love it so much. It's so good. I'm rocking the jersey again as always, you know. I got the marathon weekend Disney jersey, so
Is that a
gotta
fresh
rep the
cut
Disney
too?
merch. The fresh cut, yeah, bro.
It's
Last
looking good.
week. Thank you.
For our
It's a little
audio
longer.
listeners,
It was shorter, but
our boy Mike is looking as dapper as ever.
thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. Um so first things first, I think at least our first takes on what Daredevil has done so far. Um, I know you were really excited to get into that Daredevil conversation with the mask and the costume and everything like that. So let's start with that. Uh, so there's 8 episodes, Born Again season 2. I've seen most all of them. You've seen all of them. What do you rate it?
The whole season?
Yeah, the whole season, season 2 as a whole.
Are we going out of 10 or are we doing our 5 stars?
Let's do 5. Let's do 5. I
Okay,
think we
I
stick
like
to
the five
5.
stars.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna give it as of now 3 stars.
3. Okay.
Three
Okay.
stars. Yeah. I think
What's the
they what's the criteria on that?
I was gonna
Or the
say, what's the
reasoning?
reasoning behind that?
So also excuse my voice. I'm coming over or I'm getting a little sick, so trying to get over
You're
that.
good.
So I might sound a
You're good.
little bit weird
Hey,
on
vitamin
mic,
C,
but
electrolytes, man. Come on.
yeah, man. So I thought did a really good job with a lot of things, but I still just can't get over the fact that this show will never be what the original series was. We get some really cool stuff. We get some cool action. It's a little lacking what I would like it to be, but 3 out of 5 is still a great rating.
That's a great
It's
score.
over
Out of
halfway.
5. Yeah.
So I might even say 3.5. I'm
Okay.
still sitting with it a little bit, but overall, really enjoyed watching it. I recommend watching it if you're a Daredevil fan. It's just it didn't really drive home the points I wanted it to drive home, or like I don't even know if that's the correct way of saying it, but it's just not
Sure.
for me what the original series for me is five. It's a 5 star.
That's fair.
So
That's
that's the
fair.
bar.
Okay.
What about you
Okay.
so far? I know you didn't finish it.
So I would say, and granted, the final 20 minutes of this eighth episode could wow me. They could knock my socks off. Um, I'm gonna say as of right now, I'm giving it a 2.5. Um, I I I wasn't a huge fan of Born Again season one. I didn't hate it. I liked it a lot. I think I liked season one better than season two.
Mm.
My opinion has kind of gone back and forth since I started it. I would watch an episode and think, "Oh, season two is great." I'd watch the next one and be like, this is okay." I think so far, everything I've seen up until now, I would give it a 2.5, and I
Two
would
and a
put
half.
it just yeah,
Yeah,
I'd give
right
it a
at the
2.5.
halfway mark.
Yeah, I'd give it a 2.5. I don't think it's bad at all. I think that they're doing good stuff with it. I don't think it's a bad piece of Marvel. I just think that I was hoping for a little bit more, but it's not bad. I said this last week. I've said it to you probably a few times as well. I really do like the action sequences. I think the choreography is great. I think the intention behind the action sequences is also fantastic, and just the storytelling of it is really good. But the storytelling of the whole season, 2.5.
Yeah, okay. I think that's a fair rating. I think in Born Again season one, we had a lot of really good wow moments. Like a
Sure,
lot of like I remember watching and just having a lot of jaw on the floor moments. And I
sure.
thought that's what really brought that season up for me. And I
Yeah.
thought we got a lot of those in season two as well. Especially there's a few that you haven't gotten to yet, so I'm excited to hear what you have to say about that. There's just a
Okay.
crazy. There's a scene where you're just like, all right, this is insane,
Yeah.
but but it's very fun to watch. There's a lot of really
Sure,
cool stunts
sure.
in it.
Nice.
It's very brutal and it's very just like that's crazy. But
Hey, we love those scenes. We love those scenes.
yeah, I see where you're coming from. I think the Born Again show is I'm just happy to have Daredevil. It's not what it once was. I don't know if it ever will be, but I would rather have it than nothing, and I'm very happy to just be
Sure,
seeing Daredevil on the screen.
sure. I really think that there's a good. Oh, you good there?
Yeah,
Mic
I'm
getting
just plugging my
unplugged.
charger. Yeah.
You're good. Um, I think that there is a. I think there's a good chance we see Daredevil moving forward. Hopefully in the MCU. Fingers crossed. I
Oh,
would
we're gonna
love
see
to.
him in Spider-Man for
I
sure.
was gonna say I would love to see him in Brand New Day. Um, I would love to, I would just love to see him in general moving forward. I think he's a great character. I'm curious to see how they would integrate him into the MCU because of the nature of his content so far has been a little darker, and it's been a little bit more on the like gritty side of Marvel, whereas most of the MCU is very, they kind of do it for the jokes a little bit, not 100%, but the jokes are definitely a big part of the MCU. So I'm just curious how they'll integrate him. But
Yeah. Well, I mean, we have Frank Castle's Punisher in the new Spider-Man confirmed, and
yep,
we know that
yep,
that's going to be a little bit more of a PG-13 opposed to rated R Punisher. So I'm
sure,
interested to see what they do with that because I know when the Punisher show was originally getting picked back up by Disney, a lot of
sure,
fans were worried that they weren't going to do the character justice.
yeah,
So I'm curious to see how they're kind of gonna get away from that because I know a lot of fans don't want to see the character change.
sure,
Yeah.
sure. I think the only thing I would say in terms of like integrating like a more PG-13 version of Frank Castle, it's a lot easier to do in my opinion because he's such a intense character. You can keep that intensity with a comedic character, and it almost makes it funnier because of the dynamics.
Oh
But
yeah.
a character like Matt Murdock
You see
or
that
like
in like Deadpool and Wolverine. That's the
sure,
dynamic.
sure, that's yeah, that is Deadpool and Wolverine. Or you can even like not so much to this extreme, but you can even use the example of like Drax and any of the other Guardians, where Drax is very straight laced. He has his stupid sarcastic jokes, but he's very straight laced, and that's what helps him mesh with the rest of the group. So there's definitely going to be a good potential there. The only reason I say how they're going to integrate Daredevil and Matt Murdock is obviously the only uh, time we've seen Matt Murdock in the MCU of recent has been that very short bit in Spider-Man: No Way Home when he is Peter Parker's legal, lawyer talking about the whole
Yeah.
Peter Parker Spider-Man thing at the end of the second
Which,
movie and
by the
beginning of the
way,
third one.
when Charlie Cox showed up as Matt Murdock in No Way Home, I had a much bigger reaction than seeing the other Spider-Mans. That was huge for me, and it made
Yeah,
me so happy. And no one else in the theater seemed to really care, but
sure.
I loved that.
So I was gonna say I think that's fair because for me, like when I saw Andrew Garfield walk through, honestly, the second I saw Ned, the second he opens up that portal and you see the suit,
Oh
I
yeah,
was like, that's
that was a good
TASM.
moment.
That is Andrew Garfield right there. I just know it. Like that is him. And that's I love that film. I've said that already. I think those are great films. Super duper slept on films.
We'll get into it
So
because that
obviously,
was part of my
we'll
homework.
get on to that. We'll get on to that.
I want to finish
But
talking about Daredevil though.
yeah, but I definitely was excited because that was when I had just finished up season 3, or I was like watching season 2 or 3 of Daredevil. I don't remember where exactly I was, and so that was a cool thing because
Yeah,
it wasn't super in your face. We're just throwing cameos and to throw them in. It made sense. It was very much so like it was done very well. Very not forced down your throat of throwing characters in just to say, hey, we have money, we have a budget, here's a
yeah.
face. So I think it was really neat way to introduce him.
Oh, it was such a cool moment. There was an opportunity on the table, I think, for the season finale of Daredevil, and you would have gotten to this point. So, in the comics, I forget which comic run, but
Sure.
in the comics, Daredevil and Spider-Man are really good friends. They team up a lot.
Okay.
And there is a comic run where Daredevil is on trial and Matt Murdock is his lawyer, but he keeps his secret identity. And he does that because Spider Man actually wears the Daredevil suit and shows up to court, and Matt Murdock
That's
defends
cool.
him. So in the final court scene where they were about to, he's like, Daredevil was on the Rising Star. We need him to take witness. I really thought that they had the opportunity. Like, it would have been amazing if we saw Tom Holland go into that courtroom in the Daredevil suit.
I'm gonna be honest, that probably would have been that would have bumped up just simply them doing that. That would have bumped up my rating probably a whole half, maybe even a whole star.
It would have
Just because
been.
that's a really fun way to play that dynamic.
Oh yeah, especially if we're gonna get Charlie Cox's Daredevil in the new Spider-Man movie, which is all speculation, but I think we're going
So
to. That would have been a great way to do it. The comic book fans would have loved that. A lot of other people would have been really confused but happy.
yeah, I will say, as much as the inner nerd of me would have loved to see that, and that's a really cool moment. I do appreciate that they didn't, only for the fact that we know Brand New Day is going to take place 5 years after the events of No Way Home. Um, Although we don't have an exact timeline. Actually, we probably do have an exact timeline of when Daredevil Born Again season 2 is taking place.
I think
If
it's just modern
in
day. I'm not sure.
so yeah, so unless this is in the far distant or the far future that we're seeing Brand New Day, I don't know logistically if it would even make sense for Marvel to just throw in the cameo of Tom Holland pretending to be Daredevil for the sake of,
Yeah, probably
oh, this
not.
happened in the comics. But I do agree with what I get what you're saying. As like
But it was there.
like
It
I'm a
would have been
fan
cool.
moment. Yeah, I get what you're saying. As a fan though, and as a nerd, I do kind of appreciate them not just doing it for the sake of being able to do it.
I get that. I'm just saying the opportunity was there. It would have been really cool.
Sure,
Yeah,
sure.
the way that this ends, I like that we got. This wasn't. I don't think this is from the comics. No Daredevil run that I've ever read has this, but we kind of got like the Tony Stark, I am Iron Man from
Sure.
Matt Murdock, which I did not
Yeah.
expect. Just because I don't think I've seen that in the comics. Maybe it is. I'm not super well versed in all that. I've read a few comic book runs,
Sure.
but the way it ends, I don't want to spoil it for you. It is on track for a very big comic book moment and run for Daredevil.
Okay.
And I wonder if that's where they're picking up in season three. So we'll see. Season
Cool.
three is filming right now, so we'll see what they do
Oh,
with it.
wonderful, 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 wonderful. Yeah, yeah. That'd be. I mean, that'd be cool. I don't obviously don't know how it ends yet, so I don't know what comic book story you're talking about. But I hope for your sake. I know how big of a Daredevil fan you are. I hope they do pursue that avenue.
Oh, I
So
appreciate it, but they're definitely gonna drop the ball. So
accept disappointment, and you'll never be disappointed.
set a low bar, and you'll clear it every
Yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah. Um,
We're so
well said. Well
inspirational for
said.
the kids.
All right, so trucking right along here. I do want to talk about Spider-Man, but first I'm going to touch on Wonder Man very briefly because I haven't gotten through a whole bunch of it yet. What I've gotten through, really big fan. I'm really enjoying
Oh,
it
it's
so
homework
far.
time. It's home. All right,
Yeah,
segment
yeah,
number
yeah.
one, homework
What
time.
Wonder Man, uh, I think has the potential to be one of my favorite not well, I guess not MCUs, but Marvel TV series.
It is.
Um,
I think it's the same thing. I think it's all MCU canon. I'm not really sure.
I think it's MCU canon, but I think people refer to it generally as something a little different, but I'm not
Marvel
positive.
Television, yeah.
Yeah, I think I call it like legit like the Marvel television universe is what I've the MCTU or something like that. I think I've heard something weird. Um, I think that the thing I really enjoyed from Wonder Man is right at the on the first episode, we kind of are given the fact, okay, the main character, he has superpowers.
Right.
That's made very obvious to us. However, it's made in a way that's very it's done very tastefully and very not in your face, this is an origin story, but very like, hey, low key, this is this dude's origin story. Like I don't know. The acting's great. The story's really good. There's a lot of hook to it. I felt very intrigued in it. And it's because it wasn't just the same cookie cutter uh, Marvel TV show or Marvel movie. It felt its own. It felt very unique and had its own style, while
100%. It's
still
very
being
grounded. I think
very
grounded.
very grounded. Yeah, while still being a Marvel TV show. Um, Again, I've only watched the first two or three episodes all the way through. I want to watch more before we dive deeper into that show, but so far I really enjoy it.
Good. I'm glad you're enjoying it. What episode are you on?
I think I'm on episode four, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Um, I can't remember if I finished episode three or if I was at the tail or if I'm at the tail end of it. But yeah, I'm getting a good time out of it. So
Yeah, I really appreciate that that show is grounded, and I think that's exactly what it needed to be. I think a lot of people
mhm.
weren't really wanting, there wasn't really a demand for another like in your face superhero show. And it's cool because you know you have been in the film industry. I work in the film industry.
Sure.
It's cool to watch a story about someone struggling in
Yep.
the film industry, and it's very real. And I love the things they do. Like you're in an apartment and you see like, he's got like a ring light, and he's just
Yep.
filming auditions.
Yep.
It feels like
I
a
love.
story about him and not
Yeah.
about Wonder Man yet. So it's a great
See,
origin story.
I think my favorite thing, um, the two bad things I really enjoy. I'm not gonna say my favorite, but two things I really enjoy. I know nothing about Wonder Man.
Oh, same.
Literally nothing. I don't. I've never heard of that character, that hero. I know nothing about that. Um, so it's nice to get just a fresh take on a character I've never heard of. Obviously, everyone's heard of the main characters we're using. All of the Avengers, everyone's heard of them. Everyone's seen a rendition, seen a cartoon, read a comic, seen any of the old movies with them. Same with like even so like Fantastic Four, Daredevil, Deadpool, um, Miss Marvel, like all these characters we've seen at least a rendition or heard of them. I've never heard anything of Wonder Man. Um, Second thing I really like, and this is such a stupid thing, right in the first episode when they're like, actually, the producer's deciding to cut your role or the director or whatever, and then
Yeah.
everyone's like, okay, that's a series wrap, and they're clapping for him, and dude's just like, what the hell?
Yeah.
That's so real. That is like the amount of times I've seen that happen to actors or actresses. I've even seen like you don't even get to set. You're on your way to set, and they give you a call, and they're like, "Hey, we know you're coming on today. We decided to cut the roll. You'll still get paid for the day, though. Thanks." And it's just it's a very very real take on what acting is and
Yeah.
how the film world is. So
Oh yeah, it was like a cool nod to see because usually like when you get the applause on set when you're wrapped, it's like a good moment.
yeah,
You're done working, but he just got
yeah,
fired. But I love
yeah.
that they said that throughout. He talked too much. He dove too like he was a day player and he was trying to rewrite the show. Uh, I'm not gonna spoil it, but he holds on to that like trait the entire show, and
That's
like
funny.
you'll
Yeah.
get to episodes where you're like, dude, what are you doing?
Well,
Uh,
you
but it
even
works
get
out for
that
him.
when he's at the auditions for Wonder Man. You get that same thing when he's in the bathroom and you take a look at his notes and it's just like everything is just it's so much. It is so much. And I love when the character I'm forgetting the character's exact name, but he's the
Trevor
one that
Slattery.
yes, thank you. When
We
he's literally
love Trevor
like
Slattery.
he's like push all the air out of your lungs as hard as you can and don't think. Like that is just to me it makes me laugh because I know a lot of actors that are similar where they sit there and they look over every single word, every syllable, every line, everything, and they have to map it out in their brain so clinically and like almost surgical.
Yeah.
But then there's other actors that are just like, I'm just gonna see how it feels. So I think it's a really another really accurate take on what it's like to be an actor. But yeah, that's all. I don't have a whole bunch of thoughts other than just great. I really like
Yeah,
what they're doing with it so
it's
far.
good. It's refreshing to see just a story
Mm,
that doesn't feel forced. Also, I
mm.
love a good duo, and I love the Trevor Simon duo.
Yeah,
I like that's not a combination on screen I ever thought I'd see. I thought we were kind of done with Trevor Slattery, but I'm glad that they brought him back. That like
I
that. What
think
a good
bringing his
move.
character back. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
I actually I have a question I want to ask later on that we'll circle back to, but I think them bringing him back was brilliant.
yeah, and just so happened to be like because he was cast in Iron Man 2 like almost a decade ago, maybe oh, I don't even know, a long time ago,
Iron
and it
Man
just
2 came out so long ago.
yeah, and bringing him back and just like him have because he played a somewhat minor role in Iron Man 2 and a
Yeah,
very specific role, and he plays that version of that character's like himself in this one,
yeah.
so he's an made like the real actor. I don't know his name, but he's an incredibly talented actor, which I don't know if that's like lucky for
Did you
Wonder
ever
Man or
watch?
if they knew that and wanted to give him more opportunities. But he's so good that
Yeah.
you wouldn't have. We didn't get to see that in Iron Man 2, so it's good.
Did
I'm
you
so
ever
glad they brought him back.
watch Ender's Game?
No.
Ender's Game's a good film. That's like a sci-fi film. Um, and the premise, without like going into the whole plot, is they recruit kids at a young age to basically be trained on how to be officers in a military. Um, and it's set in like a futuristic world with like space like high level space travel and it's really cool. It's a good film. I think you'd enjoy it. But
Okay. Yeah. Sounds
he's in
good.
that as well. That's what made me think about it. So yeah, look into that. But anyways, yeah, good movie or good show. I'm sorry, good show. Wonder Man.
Yeah. Great
I
acting. Both of
great
those
acting.
actors are so amazing.
Even the more minute roles that aren't in every single episode, like the more the reoccurring people, they're very talented, all of them. I really
Oh yeah.
enjoyed all of the actors and actresses in that show. I really don't think I have a single complaint so far from what I've seen.
No, me neither. And I'm really glad that you share that, like that you're
Yeah.
enjoying the show because it goes back to what we were talking about last week when you have these works that aren't really you can tell they're not made with passion. This feels like it was
Hmm.
made with passion. This feels like somebody has a story to tell and everybody's heart is in it. And I love seeing that. Did you by chance get to the doorman episode?
Yeah. So okay, that's definitely the episode I was on because I remember seeing that. That's the guy that like stuff passes through him.
Yeah, they were telling the story of why superheroes aren't allowed on set or why they're not
Yes,
let.
that is exactly the episode I was on, and I paused it during that whole spiel with the doorman.
Okay,
So
so you didn't
that's where I'm
finish
at.
it?
Yeah, don't go anything past
Okay.
that. You just
But
jogged my memory.
You saw Josh Gad.
Yes, I did see Josh Gad talking to this dude.
Okay.
Um,
But did you see what
I don't.
happens to Josh Gad or no?
Not yet. No.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. I guess we'll see. Um,
Yeah, it's very random, but very I don't want to
sure.
say funny, but it's kind of funny.
Okay. Okay. Wonderful. Okay. Next piece of homework. TASM.
That's right.
You watched the first one. You didn't get to the second one yet, correct?
That's right. But we can talk
Okay.
about that. We can talk about the first one.
Let's talk about the first one.
All right. Our this is our weekly Spider-Man topic. Just want to throw that out there. So I actually took notes.
I want you
I
to
have.
know. I want you to know. Um, I have really strong opinions about this movie,
I
and
know you do.
Andrew Garfield is my favorite Spider-Man. Just so you're aware.
Okay, and
Continue.
we can talk about that too. So my initial thoughts, the
Okay.
first thought I had was just straight from the poster or straight from the preview on Disney Plus.
Mhm.
That suit is fire. That is
Dude, it's so good.
that is an
So good.
8.5 out of 10 suit. Um,
TASM one suit.
but
So
I
good.
but I also only think that there are two 10 out of 10 suits, and I actually want to talk about that later. I want to talk about favorite Spider-Man suits.
Okay.
Um, but the TASM suit is very very good. The only thing that I think could have been a little bit better, and I know it was just a creative choice,
Mhm.
because he had the sunglasses lens in there, and they kind of were like a yellowish. I think if those were just bright white, it would have been. I think that would have been a 10 out of 10 suit. I think the eyes are what
Okay.
kind of deducts it for me personally.
Okay.
Um, Flash Thompson. I think that Flash was the most comic accurate Flash Thompson I've ever seen. Thought he was really good.
Mhm.
Um, when he first gets well, this isn't initial thoughts anymore. This is just going down the list. When he first gets his powers, it's shot very very cool.
Yeah.
When he's on the subway and it's kind of like skipping through time, and what I feel like that's kind of shot ahead of its time. I feel like I
Mhm.
didn't because this movie came out in what 2012.
I couldn't tell you the exact same year. You just watched it more recently, so
I'm
you
pretty
you,
sure
you would know better.
2012, which it blew my mind that I've never seen this movie before.
That's
Uh,
crazy to me. That's crazy.
but I think it's because here's what I think it is. I think it's because in 2012 Avengers came out and I was very young. I might have been in like third grade or
Sure.
fourth grade,
Sure.
and our family got obsessed with like the MCU. And I
Mm.
think that because it was Sony and it wasn't MCU canon, I didn't really care enough to like watch it.
Miss
But
Justice. Miss
I know
Justice.
it was a missed opportunity because man, this was such a good Spider-Man film. It was such a good Spider-Man film. I thought I'm just gonna keep going down the list. I thought one, it was really funny. There's like that
Yeah.
scene where he's like kind of getting used to his powers. He just smashes his alarm clock. Like there was a
Yep.
lot of really funny moments.
Yeah.
And um,
Or even going back to the subway, um, like when you have the people that are drinking on the subway and they're messing with him while he's napping, um, and then him like accidentally just kicking the asses of these grown men
yeah,
as a high schooler. It's just I think it's done very well. I think it's a really good
that
depiction of
that scene was great.
of all of a sudden you gaining this hyper sense of awareness and these powers in your body, like literally, uh what's the word, evolving, that's the word,
Yeah,
like your
yeah,
body's DNA evolving and integrating with that of a spider, and how that would kind of look. I think they do a really good job.
yeah. Which I think we're actually gonna get a lot of based off the new Spider-Man trailers. So
Sure.
I think we're getting a
Yeah.
lot of that
Yeah.
new one. But yeah, that scene was really good. It was really funny when he like ripped that girl's shirt off on accident. That was like, you could tell that Into the Spider Verse took a lot of inspiration from that. Just like when he put his hand on Gwen's shoulder and like couldn't take it off.
Yep.
Um, that was done really really well. And speaking
Mhm.
of what you're saying, like his body was adjusting. He when he like went into the freezer and grabbed all that food, like that was just done so funny. Like Andrew
Yeah.
Garfield delivered so many things that I don't even know if they were supposed to be funny. They just
Yeah.
were. So
Yeah.
I am a big Andrew Garfield Spider-Man fan. I know a lot of people's gripe with this movie. I knew this way before I got into watching it.
Sure.
Is that he's too cool to be Peter Parker or whatever. Here's what I think. I think, especially after watching Into and Across the Spider-Verse first, We
Sure.
know that this is an alternate version of Spider-Man. It's a different
Sure.
story to be told. And the story before this was Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, and they didn't want to do the same thing. I don't think that it's not comic accurate for him not to be super nerdy. He's more of a troubled teen in this one, but he's still a little bit of an outcast, and I think that's more realistic for nowadays. Like Spider-Man was written in a time where you didn't like we have different types of people now, and like he's
When
a
it was
very
written,
edgy,
yeah,
yeah,
when it was written, to be an outcast would be to be a nerdy. If you
right.
were like the nerdy, smart kid, you would be the one that's an outcast. That's just not as common. Making him more like he enjoys photography and he's a skater
Which is straight from the
and
comics. The skater
yeah.
thing is new, but that's cool. He's more of an edgy
But I'm
teen.
saying like he's like that edgy artsy, not super artsy, but a little bit more on the artsy side with the photography, but still is a very smart person. I think it's a different take, but I really like it. I really think it fits Andrew Garfield and how he delivered the character.
Yeah, 100%. And also, I'm not opposed to having a cool Peter Parker. I even think that Tom Holland's Peter Parker is somewhat cool.
Oh,
So
sure,
to all
sure.
the Andrew Garfield Peter Parker haters, that's my take on it. But most of those people say that his Spider-Man is the best. His Spider-Man was great. I love so many things about this movie. The web slinging felt so good and so
So
real,
good,
and
so
we
good.
got so many picture moments. Like they literally would stop the frame so you could like take a picture of him doing a Spidey pose. We got so many of
Yep.
those that it was done so well. I'm gonna fast forward to towards the end of the movie when all the crane operators like turn the crane.
It's so
Dude,
cinematic.
it was so
It gives you
cinematic.
chills.
It
It
was
gives you
emotional.
goosebumps.
It was.
Yeah.
It was emotional, and that shot was so cool. That like wide shot, and they're all coming in. That was done so well. That was a great moment. Uh, there was a lot of moments like that in this movie.
So I'm gonna. We won't get into this topic fully yet. I'm gonna talk on that. I think the thing that I hate the most about Tom Holland Spider-Man films is they don't do a good job of showing the love New York has for Spider-Man.
Well,
I think Sam Raimi's Spider-Mans do a fantastic job of showing that.
I don't know, man.
I
I think comic accurate wise, a lot of it's like it's there's a lot of division, but I feel like for the most part, Spider-Man is seen as a menace. You know, J. Jonah Jameson's like a lot of
but
people don't like Spider-Man. Well,
But
actually, a
they
lot of
don't
people.
even show that really. They don't show even an indifference in the Holland films until the third one. You don't see it in Homecoming. You don't see it in Far From
You,
Home.
in
You
Far From
see
Home,
it.
yeah, you do see it because
Oh, I'm
J.
sorry.
Jonah
In
Jameson's
No Way
good.
Home. You don't see it in No Way Home. You see it in Far From Home as like a bit with J. Jonah Jameson for a little bit in bits and
No,
pieces.
that's the third
I
one. In the second one, J. Jonah Jameson's in it.
but only at the very end.
Yeah,
I'm saying in the third one, you actually see more of J. Jonah Jameson's because you see him at the beginning, then you
I
see
don't, I
him
actually don't
at the
remember to be honest. I
yeah.
don't
You
really.
so you see him at the beginning, and then you also see him when when Peter takes all of the bad guy or the villains to his Happy's apartment, and he's trying to find all the cures. J. Jonah
Uh,
Jameson goes to the apartment and he tries to like get exclusive footage of Spider-Man being a menace with all these villains that are causing havoc, basically.
I don't
Um,
remember that at all. Interesting.
yeah,
Shout
yeah,
out
and that
J.K.
one.
Simmons. J.K. Simmons is
Shut
my
up.
favorite actor.
Great, fantastic actor. But like, I feel like even if you're gonna show that people of New York hate him, show that you
Mhm.
need to bring. He's the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, and I think that's kind of one of my big issues. The more I watch the older Spider-Man stuff and I start diving into Spider-Man as a character, I think that the more MCU has gotten so big, characters like Spider-Man, it's hard to keep them grounded and keep them what they are. And again, he's a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. That's what I love about that character.
Yeah.
Um, so
Well, I
like
want to
in the scene,
defend the
sure,
new
go for it,
Spider-Man
go for
just
it.
for a second because that
I
isn't
by I
the
by no means
problem
am
that
saying I don't like Tom Holland. I just want to make that very clear.
yeah,
I still think he's fantastic. My biggest gripe with those films, I love them, but my biggest gripe is they don't show everyone's love in New York or the people that do love him. They don't show that love enough.
Okay, that's fair. I do think that what you said is because he's in the MCU, which is so big and so like high stakes and high, like you have Tony Stark and whatnot. I do think that with the first Spider-Man movie, the Homecoming one that they did a
Mhm.
really good job of keeping him low level, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. It was kind of like Tony Stark's like, hey, stay down here and get used to this before the big leagues. I thought they did a really good job of keeping him the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. But yes, there wasn't any like as much moments as in this one, like with the cranes and whatnot.
Okay.
But just
Okay.
if you rewatch that movie, you could tell that they were very intentional about like, hey, let's keep this very grounded. It's a Spider-Man in New York movie.
Okay.
I can tell that you disagree, but just rewatch the movie because you'll see how like intentional they are about it.
I think that Spider-Man Homecoming is it's basically Spider-Man wanting to become Iron Man and
Yeah.
Iron Man fixing all of his problems.
And yeah, I guess that's a good
I,
synopsis of the
I,
film.
I think that that film is basically setting up Tom Holland's Spider-Man to be nothing without Tony Stark.
I don't know if it's setting that up. I think it's more setting up his ambition and telling a story of he's got growth to do and his mentor is mentoring. And I don't know. I was a big fan of that film. I don't have a lot of gripes with that one.
I don't have gripes as much as I think that they could have made an origin story. I respect the fact that they
I'm so
didn't.
glad they didn't. I actually was
I
gonna get
yeah.
to that about this one.
I respect the fact that they didn't because at this point we've had
Two
now three origin
or
stories. I'm
three.
counting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm counting into the Spider Verse for this one.
Actually
They've had
four of you include I don't know if you've seen it, but the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man TV show.
sure we can. I mean, we can count that. I haven't seen
Yeah.
it, but we can count. Or like
Okay.
I probably saw it when I was younger.
No, it's new.
Oh, then I had definitely haven't seen it. So sure, we can even say four for argument's sake. They've done it four times. I do respect the fact that Homecoming wasn't another origin story. I like that they brought in an already developed Spider-Man that has been working around, New York as your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Um, I like the suit that he has when he starts. I don't like that it feels like the second Tony Stark is introduced, everything he has is from Tony Stark. There is nothing other than the web fluid that is Tom Holland until the end of the second movie when he makes the suit, but still using Tony Stark's equipment and his stuff to make his own suit. And then he's
Yeah.
given the Iron Spidey suit also from Tony Stark. It just feels very much so like they're not building up Tom Holland's Peter Parker. I'm sorry, to be at all a Peter Parker that can operate on his own.
Oh,
But again,
I couldn't disagree with you more. And
I
here's
just how
why.
I feel.
Here's why.
I feel like he is uh, Iron Man Jr. That is my take.
Sure. Well, okay. We'll get back to my homework and my
I'm
thoughts on
sorry.
it.
I'm sorry.
No,
I
it's
didn't
right.
mean
We're on
to.
this.
I derailed
We're
us a
on
little
this.
bit here.
We're on this track now. We're on this track
I
now.
derailed us.
We'll come back to my homework. Um, okay. One in the comics, Iron Man is Peter Parker's mentor. Is
Okay.
Spider-Man's mentor? That's comic accurate. A lot of people don't know that,
Well,
but
okay. Well,
that's
I
where they
will
got.
say I do know that simply from there's the one cartoon series with Spider-Man, and there's like a team, quote unquote, and I think it's like Iron Fist and Spider-Man, and it's a bunch of like younger superheroes that are all mentored by Tony Stark. So I do know that. I'll say
Yeah.
that.
Okay. Yeah, but like more specifically, it's more like one on one in the comic books.
Okay.
So you're saying that like he can't do much without Iron Man, and it's setting that up, and then he's Iron Man Junior. I think that it's telling the story, and also at the end of the movie, Iron Man was like, you know what, you kind of messed this up. It's too early. He took the suit away from him, and he was on his own. And he went back to his H&M looking suit, and he without all the like special power ups, and he ended up doing what he needed to do and defeating Vulture on his own. You remember when like the building collapsed on him? We had such
That's
a
the
great
best part
like
of that
he was
movie.
like, get up, Spider-Man, get like that's such a Spider-Man thing.
That
And
is
that
the
was
best part of that movie. I will agree.
I think that it was showing kind of the immaturity of where he was at, and him kind of stepping into the position that he needed to be in. But then we got him like, hey, you're relying too much on Tony Stark, whatever. We got him proving his worth without Tony Stark. And then he got the suit upgrades. But let's be honest, those suit upgrades are awesome. Like and also now they're going back to like a more traditional Spider-Man without all of that, which
I'm excited.
I think,
That's why
which
I'm
I
really
think
excited
is what
for
the fans
No Way Home
wanted.
or Far,
But I like that it was
Rainy Day.
new. I like that it was new because we've had two Spider-Mans that weren't like that, and now that they had an opportunity to actually have Tony Stark in the movie because it was MCU, I think they did it flawlessly. I think they used the opportunities they had. They still stayed true to Spider-Man. They let him prove his worth without Tony Stark, and then we got the upgraded Spider-Man. I think it was new. It was fresh. That's why I disagree with you. But your opinion is valid. It's just wrong.
That's crazy. No, it's crazy because he literally, from the moment we meet him, he is just Iron Man Jr., bro. You can't argue that. You cannot argue that.
I just did.
He gets soloed by. First of all, let's go here. He gets soloed by the other two Spider-Man. He gets soloed by Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. He gets soloed by Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. Both
What,
of them.
in the third one.
I'm just saying in general. Put any of them against each other. He is the weakest by far when it comes to combat ability, strength, durability, everything. Oh, 100%. 100%. If he doesn't have Tony Stark's tech, if he doesn't have Tony Stark's tech, he gets soloed. That's one thing. He's just very lackluster. The second thing, when we first see him, he gets his stuff handed to him by Captain America in 20 seconds.
Because it's Captain America. Because it's Captain America.
You know who wouldn't get soloed by Captain America?
Don't you dare say Tobey Maguire.
Andrew Garfield or Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
You're
neither
insane.
of them. Neither of them would get soloed. No. That's the first thing.
And also, you're talking about two fully realized Spider-Man. We see brand new Spider-Man in this. It's literally Spider-Man Homecoming.
No, I'll pick Andrew Garfield Spider-Man from the first TASM movie, TASM 1. He is brand new Spider-Man. He is a senior in high school. He solos.
Bro, he was getting
Captain
pieced
America.
up by the Lizard.
That dude.
Lizard. You don't think Captain America would defeat the Lizard in 2 seconds? He would.
No.
It's Captain America.
No,
what are you talking
crazy.
about?
You're crazy. You're crazy.
What are you talking
You're
about?
insane. You're insane.
Wow, this might be the most heated debate on the podcast history so far.
Second episode. This is the first debate, so this is
great.
definitely the most
All right.
heated debate. No, but you're just
people
wrong.
in the comments
You're wrong.
people in the comments take sides. Let us know who's right. We'll leave it at this for now. Let's go back.
Okay. I'll say this. You might be right. Maybe he doesn't solo. Maybe the Lizard doesn't take Captain America on. But what I will say, I think Andrew Garfield Spider-Man 100% will take on Captain America and hold it. We'll even say this: hold his own more against Captain America than Tom Holland's did. Tom Holland's Peter Parker. That's what I think.
I think that he's not doing much better than Tom Holland did, and Tom Holland didn't do bad though. But also, I'm not talking about from a power standpoint.
I'm talking about something dropped on him. He couldn't even get that off of him. Andrew Garfield, he's taking that and throwing it back at Captain America. Okay, I'm gonna get pissed off. We gotta move on. We gotta move on.
Smell the flower. Blow out the candle. Okay.
I'm getting pissed. We gotta
go.
No. I'm gonna get pissed. I'm gonna get pissed.
All right, hold on, dude, chill. I'm talking about from a story standpoint. I'm not even talking about like abilities wise. I like the story that we got, and also two things could be. I love the Amazing Spider-Man movie. I'm not necessarily even comparing them. I'm just saying that the gripes that you had with not Tobey Maguire, the Tom Holland Spider-Mans, I just disagree with those. Those aren't my gripes. But to go back to the Amazing Spider-Man,
it's okay to be wrong.
Okay. To go back to the Amazing Spider-Man, because I really do think that this was a great Spider-Man story. For me, the Tom Holland Spider-Mans, they're going to be my favorite Spider-Man story that we've been told, in my opinion. But the Amazing Spider-Man, I thought it was a great Spider-Man story. To be honest, Well, I actually do love that we got like a different version of Spider-Man, the edgy teen, and I love that we kind of got an introduction to Spider-Man's parents and his dad even being involved in his origin story.
Yeah,
I thought that that was new. I don't know if that's been done in the comics. I haven't read any Spider-Man comic. I actually read a few. I haven't read a lot of Spider-Man comics, so I don't know anything about his
sure,
parents. I just knew that he
sure.
was an orphan. So I don't know how much of that's inspired from the comics or original story. But either way, it was cool to see. I'm gonna be honest with you. This is gonna sound weird because I'm such a Spider-Man fan,
Mhm.
but the Spider-Man origin story, it's good. Like it's perfect. I don't ever really want to see it again, to be honest. I think it's been done a bunch of times, and I think it's really hard to do in a new way. And it's kind of, I don't want to say boring, but a little bit like, I don't know. Like, I'm glad that we don't have to see that again. I was kind
I
of
agree.
bored in the Amazing Spider-Man. Like, we all know the origin story. It would have been kind of cool to see him maybe after that, or
Hmm.
I don't know. That could just be me. I didn't necessarily want to see, him get bitten by that spider. But also, it was a new Spider-Man movie, and the only one that we saw before it was the Tobey Maguire one. So maybe they
Sure.
were just trying to show that, hey, this is a new Spider-Man. Here's the same origin story.
Well, when did you say TASM 1 came out? It was 2012, right?
2012,
The
yeah,
way I
and
look at it is Tobey
it's 8 years
Maguire's came out
later,
in, yeah, so
04, I think.
there's a big gap. I thought it was '02. Was it not '02 or
It
'03?
might be 02.
So regardless, there was anywhere between a 10 to 8 year gap. So I can respect the fact that they wanted to start fresh with something and possibly build upon it instead of jumping into it kind of how the MCU did with an already a little bit fleshed out the origin happened. Now we're going to work on the development of the character.
Yeah, that's
I
fair.
don't I don't I don't again, I don't love how they did the development 100% of Tom Holland's Peter Parker. I really I stand firmly by I think that his movies aren't bad Spider-Man movies, but I think the first one specifically really ticks me off because he just feels like Iron Man Jr. However, we won't dive back into that. We won't dive back into that. It's fine. I'm done with that now.
Okay.
I'm good. But back to the topic of Andrew Garfield's. Um, I think it's done very well. I think that I really like just all the acting in it from all the main cast is really good, which is important to me from a film. Even if it's superhero, the acting has to be good. I
Yeah,
don't
of
care how good.
course.
You know what I mean? Like
That's what film is, man. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the production value or whatever. Like it all comes down to acting. All the best
yeah,
films, budget or not, come down to acting and how you
yeah,
capture that acting.
sure, sure, sure.
Um, okay, I did think this is more on the negative side. I thought the CGI spiders specifically were really bad. The CGI with the lizard was really good. But the
Mhm.
CGI spiders that like crawl on him and the when he's in that room in Oscorp,
When he's
and
getting bit in Oscorp.
it was so bad, and I was like, it didn't need to be like that. It really took me out of it.
Sure.
It felt, I don't know, I know there's a lot that goes into that, but it felt really low budget. It took me out of
Mm,
it. But that's just a small gripe. I love the homages to Toby's Spider-Man.
mm.
Like when the robber that kills Uncle Ben, one, by the way, almost seen for or almost shot for shot, like that was a very similar scene. But when he runs out of the store and the store owner was like, little help, and he's like, not my policy. You remember that?
I do.
That's very from the first Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie
Yeah,
where he's
yeah.
like,
For the Fast
I
Sam Raimi.
where he's
Yeah.
like, what's he say? It's like he says something about, I forget the part where that's
Um.
my problem or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. And then that's when Tobey Maguire hits him back with like the same thing verbatim.
Right. He's like, I
Yeah.
forgot the part where that's my problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Or word
so
for
that
word.
was
Yeah.
a clear homage. And then Spider-Man ends up, or not Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man ends up going through the roof into the wrestling arena.
Mm,
Another homage to the Tobey Maguire movie, which I thought was cool.
yeah.
The
Yep.
suit reveal, by the way, the first person shots in this movie throughout the movie, amazing. They're super cool. And doing that for the suit reveal was such a good idea where he like flies
Hmm.
onto the reflective building.
Yep. Yep.
We love a good suit reveal. I'm gonna get to my favorite Spider-Man suit when we talk about it later, and that suit reveal
Hmm.
um, later. All right, to talk on Andrew Garfield Spider Man. Furthermore, his quips are on point. We need a quippy Spider Man. That is the essence of Spider Man.
Yep.
I actually think that the only Spider Man that doesn't really do a great job of that is Tobey Maguire. I want to be honest. You don't see his.
Really?
Yeah, maybe I haven't seen it in a
Okay.
while, but I feel like we get it with Tom Holland. We get it with Andrew Garfield.
So here's what I'll say.
Like a
I
quippy,
think
funny Spider Man.
I
It
think I would
makes.
agree because I just watched all of the Sam Raimi films last week. Because that
Oh
was
yeah, for your homework. Yeah,
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 that was my homework. So I think I would agree that Andrew Garfield's the best in terms of the quippiness of Spider-Man, especially like during these action sequences. That's what he's a kid. You know what I mean? He's a
yeah.
kid and he makes these funny jokes and
Yeah. The
I
knife
don't
scene
think
was so
that
funny. He's like, "Is that a
yeah.
knife? My
He's
weakness,
alive.
small
Oh no.
knives."
Yeah. Um no, yeah, I like that a lot. Um I think that Tobey Maguire is still does it. I think the issue with that is it kind of they tried to show the more adult, mature version of Spider-Man. So they try to cut it out a little bit. And at least that's like the vibe I get, but I don't think you should. I think even though it's adult Spider-Man, he still has that quippiness and that
Yeah,
like lighthearted childness to him.
yeah. Unless he's in like his arc where he's real pissed because every Spider-Man kind of goes through that.
Sure.
But
Well,
but
to
yeah,
the same scene you were talking about when the guy has a knife and it's the carjacker, right? That's what you're talking
yeah,
about.
yeah, yeah,
And he webs him to the wall. I really like when he gets that moment of intensity, thinking that he might have caught his uncle's killer.
yeah. His
It's
switch
a
is great.
it's a very nice switch up to show like although he tries to still keep that lightheartedness with him and he has that quippiness, the second that he gets down to business, he locks in. I liked that
Yeah,
a lot.
it was really cool.
Yeah.
Overall, great Spider-Man film. Very good Spider-Man film. I just have uh two more points. One
Okay.
is it seems like everybody in that movie knew his secret identity, which I thought was funny. Uh, it just that's a thought I had. He
Okay.
just he just be throwing it out there.
Okay.
Because it's not confirmed that Aunt May knows, but like I think Aunt May knows. I think they kind of left that
Okay.
pretty obvious.
Sure.
But the last point I have is it was so good because I've never seen that movie, right? And I've been
Hmm.
watching all the Marvel movies for a long time.
Sure.
We stopped seeing Stan Lee a while ago. Rest in peace to a legend. But it was so cool to see a new Stan Lee cameo, and it was such a funny cameo. It was such a good
Yeah.
cameo, and it's just amazing. I miss the Stan Lee cameos. I don't know if you heard this, but there is speculation going around that, or a rumor going around that Deadpool will now be taking Stan Lee's cameos, putting
Oh.
up. I don't know if this is real, but somebody said that we're gonna see Deadpool putting up posters, missing posters of Stan Lee instead of the cameo, which I don't know if that's real, but it's funny. And it's a funny thought. But
I
that's
think that would be a nice homage to him, if done
yeah,
tastefully. That's a nice like remembrance of him. I like that a lot actually.
yeah. But to put a bow on my homework, overall great film. On Letterbox, I gave it a 3.5, so it is up there. It's out of 5 stars. Um, so yeah, I thought it was a great film, great Spider-Man film. Um, not yeah, not. I don't think it's my favorite Spider-Man, but I
Okay.
haven't seen the second one. We'll see. Um, I know I took up a lot of time talking about that, but I want to toss the homework over to you. I at the end of last episode, I gave a bit of a hot take, and you were tasked with watching the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies with the Tobey Maguire, and I would like to know what you
Sure.
think about my take and what you think about the movies.
So, correct me if I'm wrong. Your words were the original trilogy is hot garbage. Hot garbage
I
was, I
I
believe, what you said.
I think I said that the first. I think I said that the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies.
You
I think I
specifically
said
said
hot
the first
trash, but then I said I
hot
was being
trash. Same
harsh.
thing.
I said I was being harsh. There's good
That's okay.
moments about them. Hot trash
Hey,
would imply there's nothing good about it. There is good about
we've
it.
set our parameters as hot trash.
Sure.
You committed to that.
Okay.
Now you can even argue that point a little bit, like you just said. There's good moments to them. That's fine. But we'll go. Just do we think that the original trilogy is hot garbage? Do we think that they're the worst Spider-Man films? Because that's I feel like they get a lot of hate, a lot of hate.
You think they get a
Um,
lot of hate? I think they get a
I
lot of
do.
love. I think I'm in the
Really?
minority by saying that I don't like them and I don't think
Maybe
they're
I
good
just surround
movies.
myself uh, with like-minded people, so maybe that's why I hear that a lot.
Okay,
Um,
but what do you think after rewatching? Because I
okay,
feel like you
so I
disagreed with
used
me
to
at the
be.
end of last episode.
So no, I didn't disagree with you at the end of last episode because I was definitely part of that group that hated the movies, because I remembered them from when I was a child. Um, I watched the first movie and I genuinely didn't know how I was going to get through all three of those movies. It was so bad.
Yeah, it's
Um,
rough.
so the first movie, within the first 10 minutes, we see Peter Parker go on this field trip with a class of 24-year-olds that's being taught by a 19-year-old. That's the first thing. Second thing we see is this really boofed, kind of creepy moment between Mary Jane and Peter where he's taking pictures of her. And it's very awkward, very weird. Not honestly, creepy is a bad word. Just very forced, very random, just for the purpose of Spider-Man getting bit. That also is very lackluster. Like the spider literally just comes out of nowhere, bites him in the hand, and then drops off. Like it's just stupid. It's
Yeah,
lame.
they didn't really
It's
explain it.
dumb.
Yeah.
No, it's really dumb. I don't think they do a great job of going into detail about that. Best part of that movie is Willem Dafoe as the Green Goblin.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was gonna
He
say
is
the best
just
part about that trilogy
brilliant.
are the villains. Doc Ock was
Yes.
amazing. Green Goblin was all the villains were really really great.
Yep.
Um,
Um,
Tobey
I
Maguire just
think
isn't the guy, man.
I think that if you were to take out the origin story of that trilogy and you were to take Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man and throw him into an adult version of Peter Parker,
Right, an adult version because he is
that
not.
is
I
he's
could
not a
not buy
kid.
that he was a high schooler.
No.
I couldn't do
But
it.
if we threw him into an adult version, that's why I think he actually plays Peter Parker really well in
In the third, yeah,
No
No
Way
Way Home.
Home because
I agree.
he plays that adult, as Andrew Garfield's Peter Parker says, the cool pastor, the cool pastor Peter Parker that just dresses up like a dad. He plays that so well.
Yeah.
So I think that if he dove a little bit more, he being Sam Raimi, dove more into that with the story and the writers of the original three, I think they would have had a lot of success. And they could even kept Norman Osborn. What's Doc Ock's full name? Whatever his name is.
Otto
Doc Ock.
Octavius,
Yeah, Otto Octavius. Flint Marco. What's his name?
Eddie Brock.
Audie Brock Jr. I love the fact that they have Harry Osborn in there as the Hobgoblin. That's great. Hate the fact that he's bad for 5 minutes and then he hits his head and then he's
Oh
good
yeah,
for 2 minutes and then he
yeah.
cheats on he lets Mary Jane cheat on Peter for God knows what reason. Then
Yeah,
he
it was
goes
rough,
evil
man.
again. Then we have the iconic smile and wink while he's sipping his tea or whatever.
Yeah, the
That
meme.
scene's
Yeah.
the meme.
Yeah.
That scene's funny, but it feels like they had a really good story to be told, and then they got to the third movie and they realized, oh shoot, we aren't being picked up for a fourth movie because the first two were hot garbage, and now we need to
Your
speed
words.
this up.
Your
We need to
words.
speed this up.
Okay.
No,
So
no,
it
no,
wasn't
no,
that
no,
hot
no,
of a
no,
take.
no, no,
Hold
no,
on.
no,
What did you
not,
just say?
hold on.
What did you just say?
No, that was them. That wasn't me. That was them.
Oh,
Okay.
that was them saying, "Oh shoot."
No, okay. Not hot garbage. Hot garbage is being too harsh. I agree with you on that. There was
Yeah,
really
I think
good
I was
qualities.
too. I think I was too harsh.
Yeah, I think there was really good qualities. I love how much we see J. Jonah Jameson. I think that J.K. Simmons just great. He's fantastic.
He's amazing.
I love him. I love the guy. He's a great
He's a
actor.
great J. Jonah Jameson too.
He is. I think that. Yeah, I really just think if they took out the origin of that origin story, it would have been good.
Okay.
I don't think Tobey Maguire's a bad actor at all. I think he's very talented. I think he had a lot of capability for that role as an adult Spider-Man. The Venom stuff is weird, really weird in the third movie. I think that
The dance was a little weird. I don't
it's
really
very
know what that was about.
forced. Not even him dancing down the street. I kind of chuckled.
No,
I was like, this is so dumb.
I love
but
it,
the
but it
dance
was
with him
weird.
but I'll even go more into that. The dance I think was really weird. I don't know if you remember this. But so like you know how Mary Jane gets dropped from her Broadway show, and
Yeah.
then she starts singing in the jazz club, and then he brings Gwen Stacy in to make her jealous, and he does this whole elaborate dance sequence
I don't
after
remember it
playing
exactly.
after playing the piano at the jazz bar like a concert level pianist, and then he jumps. Oh, he flips on top of the piano, I think, and then it's just so absurd and so unnecessary that it's like how, how do you have the budget for this?
Yeah.
How is this happening?
Yeah.
Why is this happening? It was just very random.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think calling it hot garbage is a little bit of a it's a little much. It's me being a little
Yeah.
too tough on it.
I
I think
agree. I
that yeah.
recede that comment. I would say I love what you said about if they like if he was so good in No Way Home because they leaned into that like mature Spider-Man. I wish they started with that, but it was the first Spider-Man movie in such a long time. It really was like the first Spider-Man movie that everybody knows. So
Hmm.
you got to play that like young, Peter Parker. But to be honest, you don't really see a lot of like Tom Hollands back then. You don't see a lot of people that could like play young that are that talented that can do that. So
Yeah.
Tobey Maguire wasn't the wrong choice. He wasn't bad. I think it was really hard for me to have the suspension of disbelief that he could be a high schooler. I think those movies have a lot of good moments and great villains, and like good aesthetics. But I think
Hmm.
for the most part, I can't get through watching those movies, and I think everybody holds them in a high regard because of nostalgic value. But if you go back and rewatch, I don't think they're good movies. So yes, I think Hot Trash was too harsh. I stand on my uh, claim that they're not good movies.
Yeah, I'll go into that nostalgia claim a little bit too. I was actually talking to my dad about it, and that's exactly what he said. He's like, well, you have to think about it. The last thing they had gotten before that was this really crappy Spider-Man movie where you could see like that it was just a wire and this dude in a crappy suit. Like it just was not good. So when this rolls around and everyone's real big into the comics and movies in general are kind of gearing more towards the CGI, but CGI was still not like the biggest thing. It was very new in the early 2000s and kind of developing. I think a lot of people like the memory of it more than the actual film.
Yeah, that's
So,
yeah, yeah, that's what it is.
yeah. Yeah. But I got to give I could individually score the movies. I would score the first one at a 1 and I'm only giving it the 1 because of Willem Dafoe as the Green Goblin. That is the only reason why it gets a 1. I would give the second movie a probably a 2.5 because I really like Otto Octavius.
Oh, so good.
I think he's great. I think the actor's great. I think just I like the fact that all of the villains that you do show the origination of the villains as well. They're not just
Yeah,
already there. I
yeah.
like that. Um,
Which Tasm did a great job, by the way. I
yeah,
did want to say it was cool that we got the lizard. That was new. I like
yes.
that. Yeah,
I well they never do the lizard.
yeah.
In a film sense. Um, but then I think they did that good. Um, I would give that probably a 2.5, and then the third one I would drop it back down to like a 1 because it was
Yeah.
just so all
These are
over the
pretty
place.
low ratings, which makes me feel better about my hot take.
I would give the trilogy as a whole a 1 if we're taking everything together. A 1. The only a one and a
I
half.
don't
I'll give
even
it a
know.
one and a half.
I was gonna say I don't even know if I would go that harsh, and I'm the one that.
Well,
But
because here's the reason. You can't have, in my opinion, a good movie having one bad thing doesn't make it a bad movie. Just like a bad movie having one good thing doesn't make it a good movie.
no, you're
And
right.
just because I really enjoy the villains in most of the films, I really like what they do with Otto. I really like what they do with Green Goblin. I do enjoy the Hobgoblin stuff, the very little bit of it we get.
Yeah,
I
Sandman
do
was
enjoy
great
it.
too.
I think Flint Marco's done really good, and I think Eddie Brock Jr. has done really good. Just because I like those bits of it, I can't say they're good movies. I can't.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. All right, so the consensus is that the Spider-Man villains are great in that movie. We have Doc Ock. We have Venom. He did great. We have Green Goblin. He was great.
Wonderful.
Yes, I'm an adult. Whatever. I have these toys.
No, dude, I love it. I love it. All of
Yeah.
mine are
So
upstairs in my room.
so I would love. You know what? Get Sam Raimi involved in a Sinister Six movie. But like, yeah, I think they dropped the ball on Spider-Man. But you know what? They were received well, so good for them. And they I will say that Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man walked so that the rest could run. I would say that. So
Sure,
not all negative there, you know?
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited for you to see the second TASM movie. Because as I have these very strong opinions about the first three movies now after recently rewatching them, I do have a very strong opinion on this movie. On the same wavelength of all, I think is a great movie, but there is one thing about it specifically that I really dislike. That I want to talk about once you've seen the movie for sure.
Okay. Okay.
So
Another thing is death follows Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man all over the place, and knowing that Gwen Stacy dies in the second one, I'm like, that's rough because like there's a lot of death in that dude's life.
you do know that, okay? You do know what happens with Gwen Stacy.
Oh, I've seen that scene. It's a beautiful scene. I can't wait to see it within the context of both movies. I'm gonna watch it tomorrow. That's on my homework list. For you, I have a piece of homework. One,
Okay,
finish Daredevil, so we could talk about that.
sure.
Or just put a bow on it. But the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man show, I love it, dude. It's so
Okay,
good. It's like it's got this level of nostalgia plus like an original story.
yeah.
And you get Spider-Man and you get some cool little Easter eggs in there. And it's kind of like a compilation of all the Spider-Man stories we know, and it kind of changes aspects of it, and it's really cool. So
It's a
uh,
friendly neighborhood Spider-Man show. You said.
yeah, it's an animated show. It's on Disney Plus. Season 2 is coming out sometime soon, hopefully. It's really, really good.
Wonderful. Yeah, I'm putting that on the list.
All right, cool. Do you have anything else to talk about as we're pretty much at time here?
I don't think so, honestly. I have a lot of other stuff written down here, but we're getting a time, and I don't want to crack open the can of worms yet. We'll do that. What's
There's
going on there?
there's a fly. But
I saw a little bit of like a speck of it going around, and I just saw you looking. Um, yeah, I think that's all. You know what? Let's go ahead and leave it off. And this will just be a quick answer. We won't explain it. Just something to end off on. Even if you don't have the answer, something to think about at the very least. Best MCU phase.
best MCU phase.
And we can either you can either answer it now or we can table it and talk about it on next week's episode.
Anything before phase 4.
That's crazy. That's insane.
Yeah.
I I think phase 2 is my favorite Marvel phase.
Okay.
MCU phase specifically.
I
It's got
think
to be
phase
phase
1
2.
is the most grounded, and I like grounded. So for now, I'll say phase 1. But
Okay.
I'll look at the actual timeline and see overall what my favorite movies are.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, we have another one to record, but as far as our timeline is concerned, I'm looking forward to talking to you next week. Thank
Cool.
you, everybody, for checking in with us. And
Thanks, guys.
yeah, excited for the next one. We're up to 10 subscribers now, which is way more than the one I thought we were gonna have. So
Hoorah! Hoorah! Let's
no, no,
go.
no,
I can't say
no.
that. I'm not in the military, but still, yeah, good stuff, guys.
Yeah. All
All right.
right. Catch you on the
We'll
next
see
one.
you guys next week.